Welcome to our exploration of unique cultural customs and prohibitions in South Korea. From driving restrictions based on license plate numbers to the etiquette of gift-giving and dining, South Korea boasts a rich tapestry of traditions and social norms. Join us as we delve into the fascinating intricacies of everyday life in this dynamic and vibrant nation. Let's uncover the do's and don'ts that shape Korean society and discover the stories behind these fascinating customs. Number 1. Driving on specific days based on license plate numbers. In cities like Seoul, there are strict regulations on driving that alternate based on the last digit of a vehicle's license plate number. For example, cars with license plates ending in an odd number might be prohibited from driving on certain days of the week, while those ending in an even number may face restrictions on alternate days. This measure aims to alleviate traffic congestion and reduce air pollution by encouraging the use of public transportation or alternative modes of transport on designated days. Number 2. Walking dogs in certain public areas during designated hours. Some parks or public spaces in South Korea enforce specific hours during which dogs are permitted to be walked. These designated hours are typically set to minimize disturbances to other park users and ensure the safety and cleanliness of the area. Dardongers are expected to comply with these regulations and refrain from walking their pets outside of the designated times to avoid penalties. Number 3. Not recycling properly. South Korea has stringent recycling policies in place to manage waste effectively and promote environmental sustainability. Residents are required to separate their waste into different categories, such as plastics, paper, glass, and food waste, for proper disposal and recycling. Failure to adhere to recycling guidelines can result in fines or other penalties, as the government aims to minimize landfill waste and encourage responsible waste management practices. Number 4. Overstaying in public bathhouses. Public bathhouses, known as Jimjailbung, are popular relaxation destinations in South Korea. However, these establishments typically have set time limits for customers to use their facilities. Overstaying beyond the allowed time can incur additional charges or penalties. This rule ensures fair usage of the facilities and prevents overcrowding, allowing other patrons to enjoy their experience without inconvenience. Number 5. Playing online video games late at night. To address concerns about gaming addiction among young people, South Korea has implemented regulations restricting access to online gaming for minors during late-night hours. These regulations aim to promote healthy gaming habits, prevent excessive screen time, and ensure that minors prioritize their academic and social responsibilities. Number 6. Eating on public transportation. In South Korea, it is generally considered impolite to eat or drink on buses and subways. Doing so can be viewed as disrespectful to other passengers and may lead to social disapproval. Instead, commuters are encouraged to consume food and beverages before or after their journey to maintain cleanliness and minimize disruptions during transit. Number 7. Using red ink for signatures. Red ink is traditionally associated with marking errors or conveying negative connotations in South Korean culture. As a result, using red ink for signatures or official documents is avoided to prevent misunderstandings or bad luck. Instead, black or blue ink is preferred for signing documents to convey professionalism and reliability. Number 8. Not bowing when greeting. Bowing is a common form of greeting and showing respect in South Korea, especially in formal settings or when meeting someone for the first time. Failing to bow when appropriate can be perceived as disrespectful or dismissive, particularly towards elders or authority figures. A respectful bow demonstrates humility, politeness, and acknowledgement of the other person's status or position. Number 9. Wearing revealing clothing in temples or sacred sites. Visitors to temples or sacred sites in South Korea are expected to dress modestly out of respect for the religious and cultural significance of the place. Revealing clothing such as shorts, miniskirts, or low-cut tops may not be allowed or may attract disapproving looks from locals and religious practitioners. It is advisable to dress conservatively and cover exposed skin when visiting such places to avoid causing offense or discomfort. Number 10. Taking photos of certain buildings or military installations. South Korea may impose photography restrictions on certain buildings or military installations for security reasons. Unauthorized photography of sensitive areas without permission can be considered a breach of security protocols and may result in legal consequences. Visitors should always adhere to signage or instructions regarding photography restrictions and seek permission from relevant authorities before taking photos in restricted areas. Number 11. Giving or receiving objects with one hand. In South Korean culture, the act of giving or receiving objects is often accompanied by using both hands as a sign of respect and courtesy. Offering or accepting items with only one hand can be perceived as casual or disrespectful, particularly when interacting with elders or individuals of higher status. Using both hands to give or receive objects demonstrates attentiveness, sincerity, and appreciation for the gesture. Number 12. Refusing food or drink offered by a host. Hospitality holds significant importance in South Korean culture, and refusing food or drink offered by a host can be considered impolite or offensive. Even if one is not hungry or thirsty, it is customary to accept at least a small portion of the offered food or drink as a gesture of gratitude and respect for the host's generosity. Politely declining after accepting once is acceptable, but outright refusal without prior acceptance can be perceived as dismissive or unappreciative. Number 13. Not removing shoes before entering a home. Removing shoes before entering a home is a common practice in South Korea to maintain cleanliness and hygiene indoors. It is customary to leave shoes at the entrance or use designated shoe racks provided by the host. Failing to remove shoes before entering someone's home can be seen as disrespectful and inconsiderate, as it brings dirt and contaminants from the outside environment into the living space. Adhering to this custom demonstrates respect for the host's property and cultural norms. Number 14. Crossing your legs in front of elders. Sitting with crossed legs in front of elders or individuals of higher status is considered disrespectful in South Korean culture. Crossing legs is seen as a casual posture that may convey a lack of attention or respect. Instead, it is customary to sit with both feet planted firmly on the ground as a sign of attentiveness and deference to the other person's authority or seniority. Maintaining proper posture and body language demonstrates politeness and reverence in social interactions. Number 15. Using informal language with elders or superiors. Language plays a crucial role in communication and social hierarchy in South Korea, and using appropriate levels of formality is essential, especially when addressing elders or individuals of higher status. Using informal language or speech patterns with elders or superiors can be perceived as disrespectful or rude. It is customary to use honorifics and formal speech when speaking to elders or individuals in positions of authority to convey respect, deference, and politeness. Number 16. Not covering your mouth when yawning or laughing. Covering the mouth when yawning or laughing is considered polite in South Korean culture to maintain hygiene and avoid showing the inside of the mouth, which may be perceived as impolite or unattractive. It is customary to use one's hand or a handkerchief to cover the mouth discreetly when yawning or laughing in public settings. Failing to cover the mouth may be seen as inconsiderate or lacking manners, particularly in formal or social gatherings where etiquette is emphasized. Number 17. Bringing certain items as gifts. Gift giving is a common practice in South Korea, and certain items hold specific cultural meanings or superstitions that should be observed when selecting gifts for social occasions. For example, clocks and white flowers are associated with funerals or death in Korean culture and should be avoided as gifts for celebratory events. Choosing appropriate gifts that reflect thoughtfulness, respect, and good intentions is essential to convey sincerity and maintain positive social relationships. Number 18. Throwing away food. South Korean culture places a strong emphasis on not wasting food due to its significance as a precious resource and symbol of abundance. Discarding food without finishing it or without a valid reason can be considered disrespectful and wasteful. It is customary to appreciate and savor each meal, ensuring that all food is consumed or properly stored for later consumption. Wasting food may be frowned upon and may reflect negatively on one's character or upbringing. Number 19. Walking on certain sides of the street. In traditional Korean culture, superstitions and beliefs about luck and fortune influence various aspects of daily life, including walking habits. While less common today, some people may still avoid walking on the left side of the road due to historical beliefs associating it with bad luck or misfortune. Although largely symbolic, adhering to such superstitions reflects cultural awareness and respect for traditional beliefs among certain segments of the population. Number 20. Eating live octopus. Eating live octopus, known as sanakji, is a unique culinary experience in South Korea. Sanakji consists of small octopus tentacles that are still moving and squirming on the plate. The dish is typically served seasoned with sesame oil and sesame seeds. Despite the appearance and sensation, sanakji is considered a delicacy and is enjoyed by many Koreans and tourists alike. However, it's essential to chew thoroughly and carefully to avoid any risk of choking, as the still-moving tentacles can pose a hazard if not properly consumed. Number 21. Touching someone's head. In Korean culture, the head is considered sacred, and touching someone's head without permission is seen as invasive and disrespectful. This belief stems from traditional Confucian values, where the head is regarded as the highest part of the body and touching it is akin to invading one's personal space. It is considered polite to refrain from touching someone's head, especially elders or those of higher social status, unless given explicit permission or in specific circumstances, such as providing assistance to a child. Number 22. Throwing away newspapers. Newspapers are commonly used for wrapping or packaging items in South Korea, and throwing them away carelessly may be seen as wasteful or disrespectful. In addition to their practical utility, newspapers also serve as a source of information and entertainment for many people. Proper disposal of newspapers, such as recycling or reusing them for other purposes, demonstrates environmental consciousness and respect for the value of printed media in Korean society. Number 23. Talking loudly in public places. South Koreans generally value quiet and considerate behavior in public spaces, and speaking loudly or causing a disturbance may be viewed as rude or inconsiderate. Loud conversations or disruptive behavior can disrupt the peaceful atmosphere and inconvenience others nearby. It is customary to maintain a moderate volume when conversing in public places, especially in enclosed or crowded environments such as public transportation, restaurants, or libraries, to show respect for others' comfort and privacy. Number 24. Pointing with your finger. Pointing directly at someone or something with your finger is considered impolite in Korean culture and may be perceived as confrontational or aggressive. Instead, it is more respectful to use an open hand or gesture with the entire hand to indicate direction or draw attention to something. Pointing with fingers is often associated with scolding or reprimanding someone, so avoiding this gesture helps to maintain harmonious interactions and prevent misunderstandings in social settings. Number 25. Not wrapping gifts with a decorative bow. Wrapping gifts with a decorative bow is a customary practice in South Korea to enhance the presentation and express thoughtfulness in gift-giving. A decorative bow or ribbon adds to the aesthetic and ceremonial aspect of the gift, showcasing care and attention to detail. Failing to include this decorative element may be perceived as neglectful or lacking in effort. The choice of bow color, material, and design can also convey different meanings and sentiments. Wrapping gifts with a decorative bow reflects cultural etiquette and reinforces social bonds by demonstrating appreciation and respect for the recipient. Thanks for joining us on this journey through South Korea's unique social customs and traditions. We hope you've gained valuable insights into the do's and don'ts of Korean culture. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating explorations. Goodbye.